See things tall or not there, a beat to hold on.
So, how did the first day go?
It was great. It was a 4-hour class. It's a Saturday, so everybody came in on a Saturday. So I'm currently working in Toronto, so I flew in for this. Oh, it's a Sunday, actually. Sunday, sorry. I was teaching in LA yesterday. It was great. We read the script. We realized that we needed to do a big rewrite, so the students will be doing the rewrite, which is great. And split up into the groups. We're going to direct a feature film, but there'll be 8 different groups doing it, and each directing a different section. So we made the groups, and just looked at some films for inspiration.
Where did the inspiration come from to make this course?
I teach at several graduate film schools. I teach at UCLA and USC, and I teach at Cal Arts. And then I also have my own acting and film school called Studio 4. And I've been doing that this is my 6th year, teaching graduate film, and I love it. But what is my inspiration? I guess I figured, you know what I think it is? When I was younger, when I was here at Pali, and then when I went to UCLA, there were all these programs, like filmmaking programs or creative writing programs, that I really wanted to be in when I was 16, 17, 18, 19. But they all required, some sort of audition or application process, or they just weren't available. When I was at Palo, we had nothing like this, and so I always felt like at that age, oh man, I'm on the outside. Like there's all this stuff I want to do, and I just don't have access to it. And so now that I've been making movies for almost 20 years, and I want to give opportunities to other people and give the opportunities that I would have wanted, when I was that age.
How do you think this course will impact the way celebrities interact with their hometown?
Hopefully it'll be inspiring. I love Palo Alto. When I was here, I did have a little bit of a rough time, and I wanted to get out. A lot of my fellow students went to Stanford, like a lot of people went to Stanford, and I didn't even apply. I wanted to leave Palo Alto. And then when I got out in the real big world, I realized how great it is here, and that Palo Alto has actually inspired me a lot. So I love coming back to my hometown. I know a lot of people don't like going back to their own hometown, but hopefully it's a good thing. Like for me, it's great for me because I have if you're in the film industry, or if you're in a highly competitive industry, or an industry that's hard to break into, like the film industry, what happens is you end up spending a lot of time on yourself, right? Because you have to kind of raise yourself to a certain level, or else you don't even have a chance. But after a while, what happens is, if you do make it, or you do have a career in film or whatever, you get to a point where it's like, wow, all I do is like worry about myself and worry about my career. And I got to a point where I'd done enough, I made enough movies that I was proud of, that it was sort of like, wow, I just don't want that attitude anymore, where it's like, okay, I did this thing, but what's next? And just always be worrying about, how do I top what I did? And by teaching in, universities and here, it's great for me because it just gets my mind off of myself and kind of takes me out of that sort of self-centered, careerist kind of attitude.
So you brought up how you teach courses like this at the college level and the grad level. What do you think the main difference is going to be teaching college students versus high school students?
Yeah. Well, if you're in the UCLA or USC graduate film program, you've had to kind of go through a series of checkpoints, and you've had to sort of prove your ability, and then by the time they get to my class, so I'm like probably like a third year class, so they've already had 2 years of graduate school when they get to my class. So those students are pretty technically savvy. They've made stuff at a certain level, not usually not features yet or huge movies, but they've made things and learned how to kind of do it at a proficient level, and so I can work with them on. I can really focus on the creative aspects, and I don't have to worry about a lot of the technical aspects. Here, we had a lot of applicants. We had, I think, over 500 applicants. We have 40 students, so we picked. WOJ wanted to pick, experienced people. So most of the people in there have made something. But I expect, part of the class will involve, learning some of the technical side of things a bit more than I teach with my graduate students, because they already know.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I understand that, and I'm sort of making that part of the class. And I'm also, one of the things I try to do as a teacher, two things, is I always make my classes project-based. So we always make a movie. So my graduate films and here. So they're basically doing the same thing. They're making a feature film, just like I do in my graduate classes. But I bring in the material, the source material. And I try to bring in material that the class can handle. So with the graduate students, sometimes I'll give them things that involve a bit more action than this or that kind of thing, but it's always action that is affordable for, film students and is manageable. And here, I brought in my mother's novel, Metamorphosis, which is about teens in high school. And it actually the book was inspired by Pally. So I feel like it's material that these students are very equipped to engage with and handle. Yeah.
When this course was brought to the attention of Pally students, why was it initially announced without your name?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the application went out and it just said famous actor, director. And it wasn't
Did
announced.
people guess?
I think, yeah, it's Palo Alto, so it's implied, but your name wasn't officially brought onto it until you posted on Instagram.
I see. I honestly don't know. It's not the way I would have done it. Let's just say that, I've worked with a lot of schools in addition to, the ones I teach at now. And I think it's always, whenever you bring something new, a new kind of thing to a school, it's, it can be scary because nobody knows what it's going to be like. And they could think I'm going to, I don't know, corrupt the students. I don't know. But anytime there's change, I think it's just a little scary just because it's new for everybody. But in the past, with every school I've gone to with a program like this, they've loved it from, undergraduate to graduate. And I think now after today, we can say high school, they like it.
So going off of that, why did you choose to publicize this course through Instagram?
Because nobody was signing up when it was a mysterious celebrity, so I wanted some students. And if I was gonna, I'm pretty busy. I teach at 4 schools in addition to this one, and I am making a mini-series in Toronto right now. So I'm really busy. So if I'm gonna commit to flying out here, I want there to be students. And fortunately, I have, a fair amount of followers on Instagram, and news outlets, pick up things that I post. And I knew that if I put it out there that, we get some attention.
So how is your family going to be involved with this course?
My mother, Betsy, and my brother, Tom, are both helping me with this class, in addition to my producing partner, Iris Torres, and then some local filmmakers are helping as well. And my mother is a writer. She's been a writer her whole life, and started with children's books and now writes young adult novels. So she'll, I think, really be guiding the writers. And she also has classes at the Children's Theater for actors. And so she's worked with young actors as well, too. So she'll help with, I think, the writing and the acting. And then my brother is just an artist, and but also has done a fair amount of teaching and stuff like that. So he'll, I think, just be an overall kind of guide. Yeah.
Speaking about the script, can you relate to the script in a personal matter?
It's funny. I am obviously my mother's son, and it's about a boy named Ovid. I can see things in that character that maybe she, took from me, or she was inspired by things that I did. He's not exactly me, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but my guess is she has 3 sons, so my guess is she kind of combined aspects of all of us and put it into that character. She and I, and then I also wrote a book about teenagers called Palo Alto. And my mother and I, we don't plan it. We always seem to write about the same thing. So when her book was coming out, mine was coming out at the same time, and it was sort of like, oh, what the heck? But even if I don't even if I don't think Ovid is exactly like me, I certainly understand the book, because I understand the place that it was inspired by, and what she sort of took from me and my brothers.
I think that's all the questions we have.
Okay.
So yeah, thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you.